51 memes. I hated it.
I didn't see too many. I just saw the Naruto guy running. That's all I saw. And it was like, that's all I need. And that's all I thought, wait. Y'all fuckers actually went? Okay. They probably got lasered anyway, so.
51 memes. They were non-lethal. I hate weapons.
Oh.
I know that much.
That we know of.
Yep.
Alright, I'm gonna start in 3, 2, 1. Hello everyone, welcome to the Charge Shot Gamescast. Each and every week, friends gather around, talk about the things that have been going on in the last in the games they've been playing. Today I have with me Justin.
Da 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 da.
We also have Ben.
Guys, Area 51 is real. The government's out.
Yeah, of course it's real.
You should have Naruto run away. Run?
Ran.
Yeah.
I'm too fat for that.
Let's move on.
So today let's start with Justin.
Oh, not me again? I feel unloved now.
Fine.
Good. You just Zelda. I don't care about you anymore. Yeah. So.
He's in a mood today.
Me?
Him.
Oh, me? No.
I am too.
I'm not in a mood.
I'm just like brain dead, so I'm not thinking. What have I played? We played some more Gears 5. Did some of the open world stuff in Act 2. And it's still real weird to have an open world in a game like that.
It's weird to have a map.
Well, yeah, that too. Like, mechanically, it's not built for open world travel. And that stupid, like, glider vehicle thing just is clunky and awkward. I love driving it around, but it makes no sense.
I wish I got to drive it around.
Well, does it not let you get in the driver's seat?
Or no, I did, but then you didn't want to get in the car, so then I just let you take it. You didn't let me drive.
You didn't ask to.
You didn't totally did. I said get in, and you're like, no, I have to go over here and do some other bullshit.
Yeah, and then when I got back, you weren't in the driver's seat anymore.
I was protesting.
That sounds like a you problem. Anyway, the actual like open world map area is not good, but that game is still really good. Like, I never thought that a Microsoft first party game would be on my Game of the Year list, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be. That's weird. Aside from that, I have not played a lot because I spent most of the week editing. I have a new video out. Go watch it. I don't want to wait until the end. It's real good.
Video.
Oh, thank you. I got it out surprisingly quickly considering when I filmed it and how much work I put into it. But sometimes I get like just laser focused and like don't do anything except that one thing, and then I can knock it out in like 3 days. But I did start up Link's Awakening HD. I think it's just called Link's Awakening.
Yeah, there's no like subtitle.
Yeah. I started the new Link's Awakening. It's not. Today, I went by the store on my way home from work and got this cute little guy.
Aw.
He's so precious. Like, he shines. He's got like a ceramic sheen to him. It's really cool.
Put him in your Christmas decorations.
No, the cats will destroy him.
Oh.
They can't get him up there. But yeah, I picked that up and then started up the game, and I'm still not totally sold on the art style. Because like, it's weird. Like, you keep saying it's the same game. It's the same game. Just by nature of how different it looks, it doesn't feel like the same game. Like, when I'm running around in the world and everything, I'm like, okay, I remember where to go. I know exactly where this is. But then you're going around, even just like going around the town, it's not split up into grids anymore.
Well,
where it's
yeah.
like, you slide over to the next screen. And so like it just feels like a totally different world just by nature of kind of free roam around the world. Uh, and in dungeons, it does still split up the screens like that for the most part. But which I think is better, having them kind of like in, well, chambers. Um, but the like aesthetic of those dungeons feels so different that like I forget that things are the same rooms as they were in the original game. Because it's not even like the Metroid 2 remake where Samus Returns, I mean, not another Metroid 2 remake, where they
ASMR.
actually like expanded out all of the. It's not ASMR.
No, I was just making a joke.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like AM2RAS, yeah. See?
Yeah, like they didn't expand out the dungeons or the maps or anything like that where it feels different. It's just they changed the art style so drastically that it feels new again, which is kind of nice. But everything is still the same. I'll say that. Like all of the placement of enemies in the rooms and the rooms, the way the rooms are laid out is all the same. Um, but there are some new things. You gotta give it credit. For one, there's some more kind of collectible things to find around. Um, like in the town, there's little pedestals, and you can like find the figurines that go in those pedestals. Uh, it's a small thing, but it's something else to collect in the game. It's another reason to explore. And then there's actually a few new items so far. They brought bottles back. I think there's 4 bottles in the game that you can put fairies in. And so like you're doing the fishing mini game, and you can get 2 heart containers, and then a heavier lure that you can use to pick up the bottle at the bottom of the fishing mini game. And apparently there's other like kind of, I don't know if they're new mini or new side quests, or if it's just like, there's different ways to find them in later parts. But that's the only model I've gotten so far. I just know there's other bottles in the game, so that was kind of surprising. And there's more of the seashells in this one. I don't know if it's like you have to get more to get the level 2 sword, or if there's another reason you have to get more seashells along the way. Like, something better than the level 2 sword. Because I've only gotten like 5 so far. But I thought that was kind of surprising when I read that, because I hadn't heard that anywhere before. But for the most part, it's the same game. The main new feature in it is the chamber dungeons thing, which unlocks after the second dungeon. So I tried that like right before I ended it, because I moved through the beginning of the game pretty quickly, so I'm already through 2 dungeons in like 2 hours. But
Yeah, it's not a long game.
no, it's not. I mean, it gets a little longer by the end. I'd say it's probably like 10 to 12 hours, but you can do like a dungeon an hour for the first 3 or 4. But I wanted to try out that chamber dungeons thing so I could talk about it. And like I didn't have a lot of rooms to put it or anything, because it's basically like each room you go through in a dungeon becomes a chamber. So the more dungeons you do, the more chambers you get. But it is kind of cool because like even if you don't care about actually like building your own dungeon and stuff, there's just kind of little like puzzle challenges that you can go in there and do. So it'll drop like the intro chamber, like an item chamber, and then a boss chamber. And it's like connect these 3 rooms and complete these objectives with the rooms you have available to complete this like challenge. And when you complete the challenges, not only do you get like the rupees from the dungeon that you completed, but you also get like some other reward for completing it. Like I got a new chamber for beating the first challenge. So it's kind of a neat little like, I mean, it's some extra replay value. I'll say that. And it gives you incentive to check that out regularly as you have access to new chambers and can mix and match your dungeon a little bit more, and also access to new challenges inside that mode. But I also went through and tapped a bunch of my amiibo to get some extra, like some unique amiibo chamber challenges. I didn't try any of them yet, I'll be honest, because it was like $7.50 at that point. And the actual like act of putting down the rooms and everything takes some time, but I'll get back to that. But this sounded like some cool stuff. Like the new one that I got, like specific. I think a lot of them are like kind of randomized. There's a certain number you can get, but there's, it doesn't matter which one you tap, you're just going to get a random out of that collection. But the new Link amiibo specifically gives you the Shadow Link chamber modifier. So it like adds a little Shadow Link into the dungeon that chases you around while you're trying to go through it. Kind of like the Shadow Mario challenges at like Mario 3D Land, I think it is. I don't remember. That happens in Mario Galaxy also, but whatever. But yeah, the actual chamber dungeon mode itself is a little clunky because like the interface shows it's split up. Like it has the 1 exit rooms, 2 exit rooms, 3 exit rooms. I don't know if maybe there are 4 exit rooms. I don't remember, but I don't have any yet. And then in the 1 exit rooms, it's split up by like just an outward door, or just a left door, or just a right door, and so on with the others. And every room that has a door has to have something out from it. So you can't have like a door that leads nowhere, for example. So when it comes down to actually building the dungeons, you're a little bit limited because you have to make sure that everything connects to each other. And so you can't just like lay whatever room you want down. Like there's no themes or, like custom building options like in Mario Maker or anything. It's literally just whatever room fits, you drop it down, you put another door next to it, and so on. So like if you drop down a room that has a locked door, that room has a locked door. You can't change that. If you drop down a room with a staircase or a treasure chest or whatever, it has those things. You're just pulling the room straight from the dungeon and putting it into your chamber dungeon exactly as it was. The only difference is you can do those modifiers, like I mentioned, like the Shadow Link, if you have them unlocked. So it's kind of weird and it's pretty limited, but I like the idea of it, like as kind of the a beta like prototype for a Zelda maker down the line, because there's some really strong stuff in there. But the one dumb thing about it is you can't share them online.
Yep.
So the only way to share your chamber dungeons is to tap an amiibo and save your dungeon to that amiibo, and then have someone else go into their chamber dungeon in their game, load up your amiibo, and play your dungeon that way. So probably the only way I'm going to play any of these is like hanging out with my brother, and we, swap chamber dungeons, which is fine. It'll be fun, but that's kind of lame.
That would have sold me on the game, just as like a whole online dungeon mode. I would have bought it just for that, and I wouldn't be saying it's the same game. Like, well, they added that, and that just extends the game's life time by like way more than just the single player adventure.
And they could always expand that in the future, like maybe add a patch to the game so you can share like via QR codes or something. Not even have like it, because it could be expensive to have the server space like for actual online play or anything. But there's another way, like anything. A code that you can type in and see someone's dungeon.
Yeah, I mean, what's our $20 going to?
Well, we have SNES games now.
You're not even gonna get those monthly.
No. No. Sorry, the FBI agent started choking me out. I had to tell him to stop.
Oh, you liked it. Admit it.
Yeah, I did. He has good hands.
But yeah, that's pretty much it, if I remember correctly. I did a little bit more SNES games with my friend one night. We played some Super Mario World. Still a great game, but, not a lot to talk about there. Yeah, that's me.
So I guess I'm next because Thomas isn't saying anything. I played Street Fighter V again. Much surprise. This is my destiny, but this is a little bit interesting because I was part of the R Street Fighter, the Red Street Fighter online local every Monday, or at least the East Coast one is every Monday. Twitch.tv/RSF Online, I think it is. And I'm getting ready. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm gonna play Chun-Li, even though I had not been practicing with Chun-Li for the past week and a half. I was playing Rashid mainly to get my rank up because I'm not confident with Chun enough to play rank. And the runner, his name Joe Monday, I think, was like, we need a Chun-Li main. Who's a Chun-Li main? And like a dumbass was like, me. And he goes, okay, you're on stream first. And I'm like, what? So like, yeah, I was first on stream. You can probably still see the archive where I get blown the fuck up against a diamond level aura, which is a pretty high rank. I was it was pretty bad. And the reason for that is because of a story that's actually we're going to talk about later, so I won't get into that why. But it led to some very funny commentary throughout the night. Seriously, it's a good online tournament if you ever want some casual street fighting on your Monday evenings. But that was fun though. Like I wish I could do it every Monday, but I can't. But I love doing it when I do it. It's so much fun. But outside of that, play more Astral Chain. Whew. Okay. I don't think this is my game of the year. And I don't think it's bad either. I actually still love the game and love what it does. But I think and this is not just me, but where the game really suffers is when you go into the astral plane itself, and it kind of gets formulaic a lot. I mean, it's a platinum game, so a lot of them are kind of just beat 'em up, go to the room, whatever. But here, the astral plane is sort of like the C2 dimension you go to. It's all red, always red, and you're finding a small. It's sometimes you go in there by small quests or story progression, and sometimes it's really a bitch to nag to because you can't tell what's supposed to go on, what you're supposed to go. Everything looks the same, and it's just visually not interesting compared to when you're like in the real world and you're in basically not Japan, exploring like doing your beat run. That's the fun part. But that's like that and the camera. Like the camera's so real pain in the ass. How it just gets super low when you lock on, and enemies can just tag team you up. And the camera, you can't see what's going on. So, but I still really love the game a lot. Once the music starts kicking, and once the combat's in full through, or like if I'm doing investigations, like part of it, that's the good part of the game. But again, I think it's perfect. I still love it a lot. And so not much to say about that. I think I'm nearing towards the end of it. I do really like it, and I think it did well enough. I hope it gets a sequel, and they maybe fix the astral plane or make it a lot more interesting to traverse to than this one. But hey, first time for everything, right? I actually booted up my 3DS this week and played Star Fox 64 because I was watching a Let's Play of it of a person who had never played it before. I'm like, I'm gonna play that. And I thought about playing the Wii U version, and then I remembered the controls, and I was like, no, I am not in the mood to deal with that now. So I booted it up. That game is still super fun. It's Star Fox. Like there's not gonna be a better Star Fox game than 64 as far as I'm concerned. So in terms of just aerial,
some would say there's not any good Star Fox games.
I mean that one's really good.
The first one was the only good one.
The 64 remake is really good.
I haven't played 64 though. So.
Yeah, I would say the 64 remake is a really good one because I mean it's just a visual update of the 64 title, but that's all you really needed. The gameplay was already tight enough as it is. You didn't need any more.
I missed their just like gibberish though. That's like the only game where I accept gibberish language.
Yeah, but I don't want to play a game that's running at 5 frames per second, or 10 frames per second if you're being generous. I could play it on my SNE Classic. I just wanted to play something in my bed, because I didn't want to like overrun my Switch and not have it fully like charged for tomorrow.
You should play Star Fox 2.
I did, but it's a different game, and I have to train myself to like think about it differently. It's not like a traditional Star Fox game.
You want a game that runs at 5 FPS? That's the game.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, and also the big thing that I've played this week was the Sega Genesis Mini. As these guys probably got sick and tired of me talking about this damn machine.
I just thought it was already out.
No, I mean I wish.
How much you've been talking about it?
Yeah, there's hype, dude. I can't contain my hype sometimes. I'm sorry. But yeah, this presentation-wise, it's amazing. It's way better than the PlayStation. Boring as fuck. Just here's a screen. Here's the games. It has like a Genesis's grid back. Whenever you're in the menus, it's actually the Streets of Rage 2. Burning. You've heard that sound. You played Streets of Rage 2. Like it has a nice presentation. Everything's like a vertical setup, so you scroll down the games, and of course you can do it by ear, and it's so nicely presented. You don't have as many background options, but those don't really matter, But I think you get more from the Super Nintendo Classic, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I still kind of annoys me. I hate that both Sonic. Now that I look at it, I hate that both Sonic Pinball and Dr. Eggman's Mean Bean Machine are in this game, especially when you already have Columns and Tetris. So, and like either one of those could have been replaced with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, or Sonic 3 and then Knuckles by themselves, or Sonic and Knuckles by themselves, but that's another thing. Game wise, I played a good chunk of them. I played Contra Hardcore, which I hadn't played that game in at least 20 years, and I forgot how intense it starts. Because like if you ever played Contra for the Super Nintendo, because I never played the NES Contra, just never have. It starts out relatively not mellow, but it eases you kind of in. But Contra Hardcore, you get a fucking helicopter crashing in, and all of a sudden you got enemies over you, and you'll get a quick game over within the first two screens. It's insane. It's actually, I think it's done by the people who are now Arc System Games. Like, it's that same company, so a lot of that sort of craziness. But it's super fun.
You play as the robot?
Yeah, I played as all the characters because I died as all the characters.
No, I'm just saying the robot's the most overpowered one.
Is he? Okay, I didn't realize it was.
Well, he's just smaller, right? He has a smaller hitbox.
Yeah. I tried Kid Chameleon. That game is a thing. I'm playing it only because it's a game. It's my friend Chris's favorite video game, so I'm trying to give it an honest shot.
No, that's no one's favorite video game.
It's his favorite video game. I'm not trolling you. He loves that game.
I like Kid Chameleon, and I'm not really.
It's his favorite game. It's one of his favorite games. So I love you, Chris. I love you. I know you don't listen to my show, but this show, not my show. But I'm playing it for you. I tried Streets of Rage. And I can't remember the last time I played Streets of Rage, and I forgot how amazing that intro is with the music. Like, it's like this I don't know how they made this intro of like you overlooking the city and recapping the first game. I don't know how they made it with the Genesis sound system. Like, it's insane. It doesn't sound like it belongs in the Genesis, and then it does. And you get to the actual game, and it does.
Then you get those twangs.
Yeah, and that Genesis twang, buddy. Let's see what else. I actually tried Street Fighter 2 because, of course, I'm going to play Street Fighter 2 on it. I got relatively far. Like, I think I picked Honda just because. Like, let's just play Honda. You're playing
with the 6-button controller, right?
I was going to get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Because I was going to talk about the controllers. Yeah, but I got to play Honda, nothing much. It's still fun. I stopped, though. But the game I actually want to play more of, though, that I had never played as a kid, was Comic Zone. That game is a visual trip. Like, it's basically, if you've never heard of it, It's a guy who's a writer, who's a comic book artist, and he gets sucked into his comic book world. And it's basically a beat-em-up where you're going panel to panel on a comic book, and it's insane. And, like, I love comics. So I'm like, oh, my God, this is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But once you die, back to the beginning of the stage. There's there's no lives or anything. So yeah, there's that. I know there was something else I played. So here's the thing about the controllers. Actually, hold on. Before I get to the controllers, one little thing. So Sega didn't promote this, or at least I never saw them promote this. But there's some of these games you need manuals. Like I think Mickey's Castle of Illusion, you need a manual to tell you what's going on, or like tell you what to do, or for mechanics and stuff like that, because these are old school games. If you go to Sega. I think it's manual.sega.com or sega.manual.com. I have it here somewhere. Basically, if you go to that site, you basically get the manuals for the games, all of them, and they're all listed. They're all for the Genesis games on the system. It's manuals.sega.com/Genesis Mini, and you can print them out in PDF form, or you can just look them in the web browser. So there's just a FY tip: if you bought this one and you maybe lost, go look at the manual. It's free, and you can print it out if you want. I'm not going to because I don't have a printer. So the last thing I'll talk about is the controllers. It comes by default with two 3-button controllers, which are obviously the the early version of the Sega Genesis controller. And in terms of holding it, it doesn't feel bad. It feels a little weird at first, considering especially if you're like me who grew up playing the 6-button one more, or even the Sega Saturn controller, which is very similar. It works for the early games because all you're doing really is running, jumping, or punching. You're not really worrying about menus and stuff or multiple moves. Heck, you can even play Virtua Fighter 2 on it. That's a later one because that's literally a 2-button fighter with a block button. That's all it is. But having the 6-button controller helps a lot. Not just with Street Fighter. The one thing I've learned into in so far is in Comic Zone. You can you basically, one of the first things you get is there's an item thing you run into, and if you play on the 3-button controller, you have to select C, then manually move over to it, and then press A to use it, which that's going to get you hurt in some instances. Versus if you have the 6-button controller, you just press the corresponding button to the menu, so X, Y, Z, and that does the item. It's so much easier. So it's more of a, it's easier on it. So I'd say spend the extra $20, get that 6-button controller. It feels good. Retrobit, I think, does them, and you can get it in like translucent blue or black. This is not sponsored by them, but I bought the controller, and it has multiple uses besides the Sega Genesis Mini. All in all, so far, I'm really happy with this little machine. It is wonderful. I'm looking at it right now. It's this right next to my Super Nintendo, and it's like I'm in the 90s all over again, man. It feels good to play some of these games, and some of them I never played in my life. I love the list of games that are on here. And shockingly, I remember playing Columns. Like, I remember that game. Either I remember playing it, or remember my dad playing it. I don't know. But, yeah. Sega! I'm done.
Cool. So this week, I started up the Voices of the Vanguard podcast. You can check that out on our website, chartshot.com. It's where all the Destiny talk goes these days. So, other games that I have been playing, Control, been playing some more of that.
Ray tracing.
God damn you.
Y'all shouldn't have said it.
So yeah, Control. There's a couple things I wanted to talk about with it. First is like all the side quests that are in that game. I got to a point where all of these possessed items have been broken loose, so you have to run around the building collecting them and trying to tame them and bring them back to where to the prison that they belong in. There was one that was a refrigerator that you had to keep an eye on, or else it'll go crazy. And the guy that was watching it the whole time, since throughout the lockdown, you're about to like relieve him from duty, and you have to go through this like corridor area to get to him. And so once you go down the corridor, he looks away from the refrigerator, gets eaten, basically. And then you have to go in there and kill the thing that's possessing it. One of the cool ones, though, was there's this traffic light, and you literally have to play red light, green light with it. So while it's green, you walk towards it, and then when it turns yellow and red, you have to stop. It's pretty fun. And once you collect these things, they'll tell you, you get like a dossier about them, and like what kind of powers they possess, like what kind of things have gone on around that thing, how they got in possession of it. So it's like fun stuff like that. Another one is the Dead Letters. So the Dead Letters department of the Bureau is basically like all of these people that have experienced crazy things happen to them, and they write into the post office to have their letter mailed to like the New York Times or something, but the Bureau intercepts the letter and like determines if it's real or not. So you get like all these letters, and you don't know like if all of them are real, none of them are real, or some of them are real, and you just see like scribblings of mad people. It's like, I swear to God, this thing moves. It's like it's really fun, and really good writing in this game. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. But other than that, I've just been busy with life. Like, I had my teeth fixed. I got some fillings. My mouth still hurts. I did that Voices of the Vanguard podcast while half my mouth was numb, so that was fun.
So yeah. I should have bought you dinner afterwards.
Is that a inappropriate joke?
Yes. What else would it be? Wholesome?
Well, you usually eat your dinner beforehand, so I was confused.
No,
well,
you
jokes
do
are
the
usually
thing
funny.
and then you buy them dinner.
That's true too. Jokes are usually funny.
Yeah, I'm not funny. I'm going to jump the bridge right over there. It's going right across from me. Right. I'm doing this outside, by the way. Great ambience.
All right.
Naked.
Let's move on into the news. The classic Dragon Quest games are coming to the Switch.
Yay!
Square Enix announced that it will be bringing Dragon Quest 2, Luminaries of the Legendary Line, and Dragon Quest 3, The Seeds of Salvation, to the eShop on September 27th.
Cool.
Right when Dragon Quest 11 launches.
Yeah.
I heard 3 is the only one worth buying, considering 1 is very old school and 2 is really mean.
They are all remastered. It's the ugly mobile versions, but it is worth knowing that they're remastered. So
That dragon is not.
Maybe it
good.
updates them a little bit.
Who knows? Well, I guess we'll find out.
Actually, the battle sprites look really clean. Like, that's super nice, but the field stuff looks ugly.
Yeah, that part does not look good.
Yeah. And it doesn't, like, the overworld, like, character sprites do not match the map style.
No.
It looks like an RPG Maker mess.
Yeah, but I don't think these ever got, like, a PSP thing, so, like, they had to go off what they had, so...
Yeah.
You weren't gonna...
Square is lazy. They're not going to remake them again. What?
That's too much effort.
That costs money.
Yeah.
They don't have money. They've been making Final Fantasy VII for 11 years.
Yeah.
15 for 12 years, and Kingdom Hearts 3 for like 20 years.
Yeah, somewhere in there. I wanted to say on this note that they will be available as a physical release for the Switch. But I think it said...
I think it's Japan only?
Oh, is it?
Maybe.
I think it had a price on it, and I thought it was like $40. Maybe it was 30.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to do the math on this, and either way, that doesn't make sense.
Well, you're paying for the
25?
box. You're paying for the box.
I can see 25. Because each one, it's $4.99, $6.49, and $12.49, which is stupid pricing. But if it's 30, if it's 25 to 30, that's reasonable, because like you said, you're paying for the box. If it's more than that, it's stupid. But it's weird, because they had this trio physical bundle, and then a dual pack of Final Fantasy games that's 7 and 8 for Switch.
That's Japan only.
Okay, so there might have both been. But I was just going to say, you'd think that would also be, like, it would be 2 triple packs, you know? Like
Yeah.
3 Dragon Quest games, and then
7, 8, 9,
PlayStation.
and...
Yeah.
Yeah, Square doesn't like 9, apparently.
I guess not. I mean, 8's the one that took forever to remaster.
Yeah.
So, yeah, weird stuff, but I guess it's cool for those that
But
care.
you can buy them all digitally if you don't want the box.
Right. I will eventually still get Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. I'm not going to get the Dragon Quest games, just 11.
I'll try 3. My friend really wants me to play 3 because he says it's like one of the better Dragon Quest games. So he's
My rationale is that like those games, I'm sure were great. Like if you played them all together and like got that story and were blown away by the twists of the third one and all that stuff. But if you only care about the story, that's already been spoiled at this point.
I mean, not from I don't know any Dragon Quest fan, so I don't know nothing. So I don't know. It's not a spoiler for me. This isn't like Final Fantasy VII. Dragon Quest is like super rich.
Well, I mean, if you only play 3, you're not going to get the spoiler
just
appreciation anyway.
Yeah. Well, I might buy them all. I mean, they're not relatively expensive. Like $5 to play the first one.
Yeah.
I doubt it's very long, like Final Fantasy 1.
Oh, they're huge games. Well, the first one's not bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Two and
saying.
three.
It's an NES game. It can't be that big compared to modern RPGs.
That's true. Yeah.
Speaking of Final Fantasy, we have the remake announced with the classic mode at Tokyo Game Show 2019.
Told y'all.
Gameplay feature that will allow players to enable an optional turn-based battle mode that will more closely resemble the experience that characterized the original game. Yeah, there you go.
This didn't seem... I mean, like, yes, it's a new mode. It didn't seem that different. I guess they auto-attack.
Yeah, they auto
and-
attack
and
while you
parry?
make decisions. Mm-hmm.
And then it goes into the frozen mode and lets you do the tasks. So it's really not that different when you think about it.
It's just automating a part of the game.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not actually changing it to a classic mode. It's just taking that like hack and slash element away from you.
I mean, if
Like you don't have to worry about it.
And this is the mode you play in.
But I'm saying it's not changing the actual gameplay. It's just automating a part of it that you won't have to worry about. I thought it was like making it a turn-based RPG instead. But it's still like the characters move around freely. They still do the little attacks to build up the meter. You're just not doing that. They're doing it automatically.
This sounds like the Lazy Man version. I'm okay with
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
that.
Like, I would rather do the active mode, I think, than switch to the classic mode where they're less good at doing that same thing. If it was just traditional turn-based, sure, I'd probably switch to that mode. But like they don't dodge or they don't parry or one of those, I can't remember. There's something they don't do. And so you'll inevitably take more damage that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. But it's cool that it's there for the people that want it. It's just not what I expected the quote-unquote classic mode to be.
Something else that's weird. Doom official vodka made with bones.
This is so good.
Bethesda and Rebel distillers have teamed up to create Doom.Vodka, official spirit based on the hit video game series. Vodka is already available for pre-order. It's only being sold in the UK, Europe, and Australia, though.
Oh.
The vodka is made from wheat, but the kicker comes later in the process. High quality and ethically sourced beef bones are roasted and smoked before the bone marrow is extracted and then macerated into neutral.
Macerated is a word I never knew I needed to know.
Into neutral grain alcohol.
Why though?
Why not?
Like why?
Because it's metal as fuck.
Yeah.
Sure, it's disgusting as fuck. Fuck Doom.
I don't know. It says it's dry. It has a dry, earthy start with umami and buttery feel in the tongue, rounding off with a smoky and peppery finish. Considering like the average vodka tastes like nothing,
Like
that's a lot of like flavors to have in a vodka.
Right.
Kind of interesting.
There's a vodka sold here. You guys probably have it. It's just like in a shape of a skull. The bottle.
Yeah, it's Dan Aykroyd's vodka.
Yeah, I've never had it before.
Supposedly, it's like the smoothest thing you could ever drink.
Really?
John Tron did a video where like he had some of it, and he was making fun of it the whole time. But then he tried it. He's like, "You got me, Dan. This is really good."
Nice.
But yeah, I love stupid gimmicky stuff like this. And the bottle's really cool looking too. It looks like Mjolnir kind of.
Maybe you guys should take that trip to Europe instead. After all.
Right?
The quest to
When is it
find
happening?
Doom
Oh,
Bone.
November 22nd. We'd already be... No, that's the game release. It doesn't say when it's coming out.
Could you import it?
Probably.
I'd imagine you'd be able to like import it from the UK.
It'd be stupid expensive.
The website
Probably.
for the vodka is Doom.Vodka.
Nice. It's so metal.
You know, there's some guy kicking himself. I was gonna register that domain name because that sounds like a badass metal band name.
I don't know. If I was thinking like what kind of alcohol would Doom pair with, I would have thought moonshine and call it Doomshine.
Wow.
Would you just do that for the pun?
Yeah, I mean, also I feel like moonshine fits Doom better.
Really?
But yes, I would do it for the pun.
Okay, maybe I'm not an alcoholic person, so whatever.
Because moonshine, for one, is very strong. It also takes flavor better than vodka does, in my opinion. Vodka's a good neutral base, but like this isn't really like flavored vodka. It's just vodka infused with bone.
Ugh.
I don't know. It seems like a weird mix to me. Or whiskey would be good, but there's no Doom pun there, so
They're
moonshine.
selling it for £45.
That's like,
That doesn't seem super expensive, actually.
for like
Really?
a bottle, like a very good bottle of wine. That's. I don't know how much wine costs. I just know
Vodka.
or whatever, alcohol. I just know the people who buy cheap Walmart wine. That's what I was thinking of. That's all I know.
That's like 56 pounds. Or sorry, $56.
Could you die if you drink all that?
If you just sat down and drank it?
Yeah.
It's called
you
alcohol
die.
poisoning.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I gotta pre-order this.
You can do that with
Like, I don't
anything,
know.
though.
Yeah, but like, it's Doom.Vodka.
You want to be the first casualty to Doom.Vodka.
I gotta die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
70
something cool.
CL. 2 ounces. 23 fluid ounces. So it's not a lot of vodka. It's pretty expensive for that amount. I'll say that. Like, I think this picture is bigger than the actual thing. No, that's not true, but...
This would surprise me, though. If it would. Alright, moving on, I guess. GameStop. Back in the news with the store redesign leaked. Did you guys take a look at this redesign?
Yeah. That's
And
fine.
like, redesigning costs money. Why are they bothering?
Yeah, considering they're shutting what, 200, 300 stores soon?
Something like that across the world.
I discovered one was shut down when I went to go see It Chapter 2. There used to be a GameStop right next to the movie theater. I was gonna go, well, let's go pop in, and it's closed. I'm like, it's like something different. I'm like, well, there's one down.
Mm-hmm. It'll probably be a lot of like bigger cities where there's multiple GameStops. They'll just close down like every other one.
Yeah.
Because in smaller towns, that's the only place they go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the redesign looks pretty cool.
It reminds me of, yeah, it's neat. But
It looks like a
it's
hot
little too
topic
late.
that sells games. Like, it's not that...
Right.
I don't know. It's not unique.
It's gonna smell, but within a month.
I was gonna say this is the cleanest looking GameStop I've ever seen, and I wonder how long it's gonna stay that way.
It won't, because Melee players will go in there and then they won't leave and then they won't shower.
In that order?
Yes. I'm not high.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be that order. Because if they don't leave, then they don't shower.
Yeah. And then when they leave, they still won't shower because they're
Right.
Melee players. I mean, it's too little, too late. At this point for GameStop, like they're bleeding, and that sucks to say that, but like, who knows? We'll see. I guess I wouldn't mind going into one and hopefully they'll stop telling people like, "Hey, you want to buy the subscription? You sure you don't want to put this pre-order down?" Like, no, I just want to buy my Zelda zip case. I'll never forget like the GameStop employee who was obviously mad at me because I went in just to buy a case for my Switch. Never.
Yeah, that happened when I went to buy a controller.
That's why I just go to Amazon. No judgment, no people. Yeah.
Speaking of like weird customer service people, I was talking with a coworker today at work about gym memberships, and he was going to he was canceling his gym membership on the phone, and the lady says, "Oh, you don't want to work out anymore? You want to be a loser?" And I was like, "What?"
Oh, that would have. Oh hell no! I would have got on the bus, gone up there. I would have a 45-year-old white woman on that person.
Oh my god!
I would have been like, no, actually, I'm done working out. I'm so buff, I'm going to come beat you up. And then just hang up the phone.
It's so disrespectful. Oh my god! I thought I was a rude asshole to customers, but then again, the people I deal with are fucking morons. But like, oh my god, why would you say that to somebody?
I don't know why.
Jesus Christ! Fire that person should be fired. Move him as a janitor and not talk to people.
Yeah, that was insane. I've never seen something.
I,
Like
I
that.
hope your friend called like.
No,
like,
but no, he just said, "Yeah, I'm a loser. I don't want to work out anymore."
I want to speak to your fucking manager. I would have lost my shit. I would have lost it.
That's what I would have done, though. I would have just been like, "Yeah, I'm a loser. Goodbye." Anyways, back to the news. Video games. Razer patents a game console that looks like the Nintendo Switch. Today oh god damn it, Nintendo soup. Today we have an interesting report coming from Let's Go Digital about Razer, company that makes powerful PCs, blah blah blah. Razer Asia Pacific, based in Singapore, recently submitted a patent for a gaming controller with mobile device and method of operating a gaming controller to the World Intellectual Property Office. Console is similar to the Switch in many ways, from its detachable controllers to Bluetooth support. There are some differences, like the game console weighs 1.4 kilograms, which is about 3 to 4 pounds.
For us filthy Americans.
Which makes it 4 times heavier than the Switch. Controller controls are attached and detached through help of magnets rather than rails. Yeah, that's pretty much all the info that we have on it. Again, it's just a patent, and they've made gaming tablets with controllers attached to them before, so it could be interesting. Could just be nothing.
I hope that mock-up isn't like the final. I know that mock-up is the final design because that looks too big. Looks way too like.
I mean, it's 1.4
that thing-
kilos. So
That thing is ugly and heavy.
Yeah. You can
And
build a
also,
person with that.
anyone that puts both control sticks on top of the buttons
you're a
is just
monster.
asking to fail.
Yes.
Because like you can't. I understand putting it above the directional pad. You generally choose one or the other, but putting it above the other buttons doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's how the Wii U tablet was.
I was gonna say, wasn't that how the Wii
Is
U
it?
was?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, buddy.
No wonder my controller was so stupid.
Yeah. So you bought a Pro controller because it's actually designed better. Actually,
Yeah,
the
like
Wii Pro-
it doesn't work. You can't toggle like that.
I played Smash with that and it worked just fine. Okay.
No. Because you got to be like up. I'm talking about games that actually like use that for camera controls and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You got to be like on the buttons and then just flip down to do a quick like camera change and then back to the buttons. You can't do that when the control stick's above the buttons.
I play Bayonetta 2 like that, so who knows? Maybe I'm just a god.
Where are you at?
Oh,
Where are you at?
out of context.
Justin's pussy
Hard
is white
shot.
for some reason.
Where are you at? Get down.
That's right.
Is
I
that
said
poop?
Oh no.
Oh,
I don't have any napkins around here.
oh no.
No.
Alright, well, we're gonna let him clean himself up. In the meantime, Valve is cleaning up their Steam library. Overall, Steam library detailed by Valve a few weeks back is now open to the public. At least open to those that opt into the Steam Client beta program. Valve detailed the coming changes earlier this month, noting that better discoverability for both personal libraries and Steam Store is the primary focus. Developers, this Steam library update brings new announcement features like Steam events that arms game makers with new tools for scheduling and publishing information about things like updates, announcements, in-game events, patch notes, and more. It's going to be helpful for Destiny because they're going over there. Those that choose to opt in will see a sleeker presentation for their catalog of already owned games, better tools for organizing games within their libraries, quick access list of recently played titles included in the new look, and a section aimed at highlighting friend activity and their recent plays and unlocked achievements as well.
I mean, yay. Hopefully.
It's hard to know without like seeing it
Yeah.
because I don't know what this stuff means.
And it also doesn't mean that their service won't be filled with a dumpster fire full of just cheap games made on this to make a quick buck.
Well, yeah, that's always going to happen at Steam.
Yeah, this is more of a library update, which I'm excited about because I've always wanted to sort my games through like years or like some other kind of categories, which just never was. So I started making my own, and I was like, I'm not gonna do this for 900 games. Fuck that.
Peanut size.
Yeah, I'm excited, and some of these features are going to be very useful for Destiny, like the games that I play, anyways.
Game that you play.
Which, by the way, did you hear about I think it was France or something? Said that like Valve needs to make it so that people can resell their games.
No.
No.
What? No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, it was like in law or so, I can't remember. It was like in the courts or something. But they're like, you need to have people be able to sell their games. So if this greases the wheel, I'd have like 900 games I could sell. That'd be great.
I guess it would just be like the cards. Like you were able to put up your games on the marketplace,
Right.
and if anyone wants to buy them, then they can. But otherwise, they just sit there.
Right.
Like that's not the worst thing in the world. And I think it would have to be where you can't play it while it's being sold. to prevent people from just like buying a game, putting it on the marketplace, playing through it a bunch, and then when they get done, selling it.
Right. Speaking of marketplaces, we have Rockstar launching their own PC game launcher now. And with it, they're giving away a free copy of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
That's enticing. Not.
One of the best Grand Theft Auto games.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But I don't care enough for this launcher. If it's anything like their Rockstar Social Club, it's going to be trash anyway.
Yeah, the Social Club's not great.
No.
I was actually just looking at buying San Andreas like 2 days ago, so I need to remind myself to get this before it runs out.
I wish that Epic Games Store deal that gives you the Arkham games for free included Arkham Origins.
Yeah,
this is the trilogy, huh?
Yeah, they like to forget about that game, even though it's a perfectly fine.
I know.
Yeah.
Because it's also like the cheapest one, so it'd be pretty easy to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Like you're getting a lot more value out of the other three.
Yeah. That game gets a lot of hate for no reason.
No, okay. Because it's the Lego games too. I was gonna say maybe it's just a deal with Rocksteady, but it's not because it's the Lego games.
Yeah. It's all Warner Brothers anyway. So.
True. But they did Origins.
Oh, well, it's like $6 on Steam.
I know. I might just get it. Because I was kind of curious about Blackgate also.
No, don't play that game.
No?
It's not good.
It's supposed to be more like a Metroidvania.
It is, but it's not fun.
Oh.
It's not, but trust me. Got it from my dad. He had it. I'm like, nope.
All right. I have no comment on Grand Theft Auto, so it's just...
Bandai Namco trademarks Encore editions for Splatterhouse, Mr. Driller, and
Klonoa.
Klonoa.
And more.
Come on.
Yeah, it's a cute little platformer from the PlayStation era.
Yeah.
Is
It was
he
also
just like?
made for the Wii.
Is he just like a ripoff of Sonic?
No, far from it.
She.
Okay.
Is Klonoa a she?
I think so.
I've never played a Klonoa game. Not even the Wii game. It's just stupid expensive.
Oh wait, maybe not actually. I thought
it didn't
have
have
it.
it.
Was.
There's just an it.
Maybe there is a girl in it.
There's definitely a girl in the background being hypnotized by something.
Well, it takes place in a dream world, so I always called it 2D Nights.
On his ears. Okay. So yeah, there's just a girl in it. I thought I'd seen one that was like a female lead.
Know your pronouns, pal.
Sorry. But yeah, Klonoa seems cool. Like, I don't really care about Splatterhouse or Mr. Driller, right? That was the other one. But Klonoa is cool. But again, they remade that for the Wii. So if this is like a remaster of the original, is that going to be better than the Wii version, or is it a remaster of the Wii version?
I hope it's a remaster of the Wii version. I'll never get to play that, and that game is stupid expensive now.
Like a Wii Master?
Yes.
Boo.
You know it's a bad pun when Justin does it.
There's puns, and then there's puns. You know? That's just like the lowest form of you put two things together.
It's like when you fight a rock monster and you beat him, and it's like, well, I guess we didn't take him for granted.
See, that's not bad. Because that's at least like doing a twist on like a, you have to know things about rocks to get that.
Yeah.
That's just, hey.
That's also just like an action one-liner.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is fun.
You take off some sunglasses and really make a show of it.
Ben, talk about Street Fighter.
Okay, so real quick, I'm not gonna be quick about this. I'm sorry, guys. So last week there was Tokyo Game Show, which big thing, but it was also host to a big Street Fighter Capcom Pro Tour stop. It was a super premiere. Basically, it's the same level as Evo in terms of overall points. Huge event and very fun. But the winner of it was Mochi, who's one of the best Street Fighter players of Street Fighter 5 players, or best Street Fighter players in general. And he won, and first place was 5 million yen, or equivalent to $50,000 American USD, which is a lot of cash. So he won, and he received, and so you would think, okay, that's a lot of money, right? He obviously got that money. He did not, and there's a reason for that. So in Japan, this is a little bit of context I have to give it. So in Japan, you know how we have in America, where you can there's like fighting in terms of like Combo Breaker, CEO, Evo, where you basically pay for registration and you pay for your game, and that money, at least the registration fee, goes to not the registration fee, but like the money you put in for a game, like $10 per game, goes to the pot. And in Japan, that's considered gambling, and technically it is. So they can't really do big tournaments like that, or at least before, up until recently, like that. So this led to a very recent creation of JESU, or the Japanese Esports Union, and it's written in the most pretentious way. Just go look up JESU. It's just like, why? And so basically, in order to make, but there's like a kind of a loophole in Japan where where you are allowed to make up to, say, a certain amount. I think it's like 100,000 yen or $100,000 USD. I can't remember exactly what the number is. I don't think this article goes into it, but I was listening to Ultra Chain, the fighting game podcast, that they went over this in detail. But basically, Momochi is protesting this. He didn't get a license. It was made of a big deal back when he won Evo Japan earlier this year. So instead of getting the $50,000 or 5 million yen, he like I said, the cap is $100,000 USD, or roughly 900 yen. Kotaku, your website is lagging on me. So basically, he got only 60,200 yen, or roughly $558. And the reason why it was less is because he also got a monitor with his winnings, which basically calculated to and he's protesting this because basically because of this esport of this union, how you shouldn't need a license to play this competitive game to make money. It's not gambling, and it's made up of companies within fighting games. So like Capcom has a representative, any Bandai Namco is in it, and they decide what games you can make money in. So just because, say for example, there's like a new fighting game that comes out that's not associated with, like, they don't have a representative, like they're not in with the JESU, you can't make money off that. You can't win anything. So far I know Tekken's in it, Guilty Gear, and Street Fighter. Those are the ones I know of. I don't really too much into it. And basically Momochi is like, this isn't right. And like a lot of what the FGC is about, at least in America, has been about like grassroots, getting our stuff together. For the longest time, fighting game people here didn't have like sponsors and stuff. It was people coming together, putting their money down, and playing fighting games. But Japan, you couldn't really do that, and so that's why he's protesting it. So like and it's not like complicated to get a license. It's not. It's relatively easy to get a license, but it's just the principle of what it means. Of why he's not doing it. And here's the kicker too, and this is the last note I'll say on it. Again, I encourage you to go to Ultra Chain on YouTube, like the first 30 minutes of it. The guy is his name is David. He's a lawyer within esports, and he does a much better job than I'm doing of explaining this. And he actually knows a lawyer from Japan who talks about this more, that I won't bore y'all with. But so say Momochi wins Capcom Cup, the big tournament at the end of the year, because I think he's qualified because of this win. The typical Capcom Cup winnings are roughly for the past couple of years, it's been $250,000. That's life-changing money right there. If there's a clause within within like how esports is set up in Japan, if he wins it and he's good enough to win it, he will get nothing. He will get zero money for winning it, because he doesn't have a JESU license. And that's shitty. And I kind of, it sucks for him because he's so talented, and like he can't make money off of something that he's doing. It's a bold step, because like, can you honestly ask yourself, I'm gonna sacrifice 5 million yen to make this an issue? That's a lot of money. I don't know if I could set aside. No, I won't put $50,000. I won't take the $50,000 to sign up for this stupid license. I would have said, give me the money, because that's just how I am. So this is an issue. Hopefully, I don't know how the Japanese court system works, but hopefully he can challenge this in court because that's ridiculous. There's also a story that there were people talking about where a kid won a Puzzles and Dragons tournament, and because he was a kid, he couldn't win any of the money. Not even the parents could get the money, and it was like a decent pot bonus, a decent pot size.
Wow.
So, that's why, like, even though Japan has like these amazing fighting game players, there isn't really like a grassroots scene like in America because of how the laws are set up. Because like, and it is, and Jesu doesn't just cover like fighting games. It's like anything competitive, so like mahjong and stuff like that. In a way, it's like a scene for them. It's like them seeing of trying to rid the Yakuza, because there was a while like the Yakuza had their hand like mahjong tournaments and stuff like that.
Right.
That's a legit thing. So yeah, like it's just how Japan is stuck in their old ways of like, this is gambling. You can't do this, and it's stupid. So that's luck to Momochi. Hopefully, it's weird because I want him to win Capcom Cup. He's such a sick player, but I also don't want him to win because then like, you know, he deserves that money. You know. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. It's a shitty situation for one of the great players. A lot of Japanese players have it, and I don't think he begrudges them, but I do love that he's taking this stance.
So who gets the cut from?
I don't know.
Does it just go to the government?
I would guess I would guess they retain the money or the government. I haven't really looked into that because it doesn't really happen. Most Japanese players who Momochi is the most prominent one to win without a license. Mostly every Japanese player that I understand has a Jesu license, so this is why this is like unusual. So yeah,
it sounds like there's a bigger problem in Japan.
Yeah,
like corruption.
Yeah, this is just a starting. He's just trying to shine a light on it somehow.
Yeah.
It's real shitty though.
Good for him.
$50,000. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about BioWare and their content for Anthem post-launch and how there is not.
Nice.
So we have here from Robertson put out a statement about what we have coming up for Anthem. It says, in order to address the long-term range plans, we are moving away from the act structure for updates. Instead, we have additional seasonal updates planned for this year. I think players will enjoy. These events will deliver challenges and chases similar to what you've seen, and are built around some fun themes we're bringing to the game. Yeah, no shit, you're abandoning the act structure. You abandoned it like in March when it first came out.
So is this like the biggest disaster in gaming this year?
Oh, it's gotta be, right?
Like, I can't think of another fiasco like that's this bad.
It's weird to think it hasn't even been a year since this game released, because
it feels like it
just disappeared. It was a huge thing, and it's disappeared already.
Yeah.
It seems like it should have been like years old, and it's just started to fade off. You know?
I think only a few hundred people still play this game.
Yeah. How could they? There's nothing to do in it.
I don't know. Maybe it's people like me that just come back every now and then. It's like, anything in here? No. All right. I can't imagine what they have planned for this year. Maybe like a Christmas event or a Halloween event.
Probably.
Just like a couple of skins or something, but I can't imagine anything big.
I mean, nobody's playing it, nobody's talking about it. Why put resources into it?
Yeah. It's such a shame, too, because there's like a really good skeleton to it.
Yeah. If it actually had time to bake, it would have been epic.
Yeah.
And exclusive to the Epic Game Store.
And we talked about all the problems that this... That'd be something, an EA game exclusively on Epic. Yeah. Not good. Terminator Resistance sends players to the future war. Wait, to the future war this year. What?
That's a stupid-ass sentence.
Is that what they call it? The future war?
I've never heard it called the future war. I just called it the future. That's it.
Or the war.
Dark future. I mean, they're in a war. Actually, not in a war. It's more like a genocidal attack from the robots.
A new video game based on James Cameron's sci-fi series Terminator Resistance will be released this November. What? Terminator Resistance is a single-player FPS set 30 years after Judgment Day Apocalypse. It was just called Judgment Day. In the grim, carpeted wastes of future Los Angeles, players will take on the role of Private Jacob Rivers, a member of Resistance Pacific Division, who finds himself the latest target of Skynet. Mix of main and side quests allow you to control Rivers as you see fit. Plasma gun wielding, run and gunner, sneaky hacker, all the above. This sounds like really generic. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say visually it looks like for FPS but with Terminator robots. No, there's nothing special about it. Visually.
I get all of that.
You're a Terminator head, though.
I still want to play it.
It's probably gonna be like okay at best.
It honestly looks better than I would expect a game just being announced that's releasing in November to look. You know?
Seriously, they announced this game what, a month and a half before it releases?
Yeah, I've never heard of this before.
Oh, released in October, like 3 weeks.
November.
All for them. I was thinking the movie.
November 15th. Yeah.
Right.
Still.
Reef Entertainment. Do we know anything about them?
They probably do a lot of reefer.
It's the thing that's being destroyed along the Australian coastline.
Let's see what they've made. Rambo the video game.
Oh,
no, that's negative. That's a negative we'll call.
Captain Morgaine and the Golden Turtle?
Morgan.
No? It
No?
says Morgaine.
Really? Come on.
Yeah. Some schlocky Wii games.
Ooh, Sniper Elite for the Wii.
Like Rogue Trooper.
Oh no, not Rogue Trooper.
Is that bad?
Yeah, it's like it was really destroyed when it came out.
Oh.
Sure you want to buy this game, Justin?
Alien Chaos for the 3DS.
I'm curious about it. That's the thing. It's not so much that I want to buy it. It's that, like, it's a Terminator game, and it looks fairly legit,
And he likes
so I'll wait
Terminator.
for reviews and see. I'm not immediately writing it off.
I think you should.
I'm not going to. But also, I put this in here because it's just absurd that it's just now being announced.
Right?
Like, I assume it was probably on their website, but who would go to the Reef... What was it called?
Reef Entertainment.
Reef Entertainment website. I was literally just on it and I already forgot what it was called.
Okay. Yeah. Terminator is one of those series that or IPs I just can't imagine. Like, I don't think of any other movies other than the first two. Or even TV shows.
Yeah.
I think of all of them, but I don't admit that they're all good.
Yeah. I mean, it stops at 2 as far as I'm concerned. In terms of movies.
Genesis was pretty okay.
It ruined this. Look, yeah, it's a fine action movie, but it ruined the plot twist. And once you know that, it loses everything special about it. That's the only thing that movie had going for
If
it.
you go into it blind, it's a better movie.
Yeah, and that didn't happen for me. And that didn't happen for a lot of people.
I know. The marketing ruined it. But I'm
That's
just saying,
when
like,
John
now,
Connor was a Terminator, right?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
game
like, it didn't do super well. And so, like, now there's people that could jump into it forgetting that it existed. They're like, oh yeah, I never watched this movie. What is it? And they would go in surprised and fairly...
Yeah, but you could just watch Terminator 1 at that point, because that's what it is. It's just a retread of the first one.
No, there's some interesting stuff at the end with Skynet being personified.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Right. I'm sorry, that was an oversimplification, but it's just like, just go watch.
And the action's good.
Just go watch Terminator 1 because it's actually a good horror movie. If you want a good action movie, Terminator 2 still holds up. Like, why waste your time with Genesis when there's better things that exist?
I never seen it.
The highway chase in Terminator 3 is pretty solid, too. With the crane and all.
Yeah, it's all right, I guess. Probably the most memorable thing about that movie.
Yeah, for sure. The rest of it's garbage. But I'm just saying, like, Terminator is a series of moments that all add up to something worth watching. But those moments aren't all in the same things.
Yeah, but they never I don't know. It's like we're never gonna get that promise of the war. You know, that's the only thing I was looking forward to, and they ruined that with
Salvation.
Yeah, they ruined that because it was like near the end of the war.
Yeah.
It's like,
Salvation was probably the biggest disappointment, I think.
yeah.
Like, 3 was bad, but it was fairly unassuming. Salvation like gave us this promise of something new, and then just kind of squandered it.
At least 3, like we actually saw Judgment Day. We saw, like no matter what they did, it was gonna happen. I
Yeah.
have that idea. The movie sucks.
See, what I want to see is a different take. I know we're off the rails now, but what I want to see is a different take on Terminator, where they basically do a Groundhog Day. Call it Judgment Day. Like just no Terminator or anything. Just call it Judgment Day.
Like Live, Die, Repeat.
Kinda, yeah. And so it's like, you know, Terminator comes back. They try to do it. They fail. Terminator, a new Terminator comes back. Try to do it again. Like each time, it's like a different. Like they could cycle out actors, bring in someone different, meet Sarah Connor or John Connor again, try it different. Like it'd be fun.
I feel like this every Terminator movie. They always come back, new Terminator. But we stopped it. No, you didn't. And Dark Fate, I guarantee you the twist of that movie is, at least my opinion, this is not spoiler, is that no matter what they do, no matter how hard they try, Skynet always that is gonna be the twist of the movie.
Yeah, it's possible that Dark Fate's going to be the movie I want.
Yeah, probably.
But the thing is, like, they always show one possible outcome.
Yeah.
I want to see, like, just, like you said, a live, die, repeat, just over and over again. They keep failing. Every single thing they try, they fail. And at the end, the Terminator goes back one last time and is like, all right, if this doesn't succeed, we're doomed to failure. And they fail. And, like, it ends with them failing.
Like a dark ending. I guarantee that's what Dark Fate's going to be. I guarantee you. Because it's called Dark Fate. I mean, like, that just to me says it all. And I'll see it, because, like, that's my theory. That's not the movie ruining anything.
Because that is why I like Terminator 3. The way it ended with, like, they did fail and they just have to wait it out was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the rest of the movie sucked. So I want to see that with a good movie before it.
That's tough asking. I mean, it could be with this one, but...
yeah. Anyway.
We know humanity gets fucked.
Justin, where can people find you talking about Terminator?
I don't talk about Terminator enough. Now that you mention it.
You really don't.
You talk about Harry Potter more than Terminator.
I love Harry Potter too. Okay. Everyone knows me as like the Zelda and Metroid guy. I don't get to branch out to my other.
It is Halloween. Maybe you should just adopt a Terminator persona, like Photoshop with like Terminator face.
Get a leather jacket with some.
I mean, you would look like but it would look cool.
I have my Terminator head.
There you go. Do a Terminator video in October or something, November.
You can find me if you look for Zero Score on Twitter, YouTube, or Twitch. Like I said, I have a new video out that's on. Sorry, the head fell off. I have a new video that's on my favorite childhood PS1 games. There's no Terminator games on that list because there's no good Terminator games.
Oh, we broke. Thomas is broken.
Oh my god, Ben, please talk.
You can find me at twitter.com/Terminator2 is the best. No, I'm kidding. Twitter.com/Marvelous Iggy, where I retweet about anime, a lot of anime, and fighting games and memes, and how no one ever understands me.
And you can find me, your host Thomas, on Twitter, CSG Thomas on Twitter. Check us out here at charshot.com for audio, video, and written content. And you can email me, thomas@charshot.com. We're on Spotify right now. And that's it. Have a good night and enjoy your games.
I'll be back.
I knew it!
Thomas, you should, right when he says that, you should add the dun 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 at the end. You should.
Yes.
Okay.